What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the Face Show. This is Glenda. Welcome to my channel. I just wanted to come in today and talk a little bit about day 6 of what's going on with Megan and Torey trial. I hear that they did call in EJ, which is Meg ex-Stylist, and he gave a whole bunch of details. I am going to post a video. I just want to give you guys a little bit of information about it before I post the video because it's a long video, so once you watch that, that'll give you everything you need to know. Go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video, like the video. Shout out to DJ Akademiks and Milagro, Milagro. I'm not sure how to pronounce the name. I think it's Milagro or Milagro or whatever. But she gives a lot of detail. She's in the courtroom and she's really speaking about what went down in the courtroom and all the questions that the defense attorneys was asking EJ, and also, what was going on with the prosecution. It looks like the defense team is still winning, so Torey is winning at the moment. Meg's team is a little bit skeptical, and they're trying to do everything that they can to bring stuff out of the bag to try to, win this case, and they're not, looking too good. So I'm going to let you guys go ahead and check out the video. Like I say, please like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. On that note, go ahead and enjoy this video. And this is day 6 of Meg the Stallion, Tory Lanez, and Kelsey Harry's trial for the shooting of Meg the Stallion.
How fucking drunk you gotta be for EJ to see you pass the fuck out on the pool floaty on the other side of the motherfucking page? It says Akademiks is unable to join. Not sabotaging the live. Akademiks, can you please try again? Because I'm trying my best to add you. Hold on, let me try again. You see how they do? Child. So, is cocaine involved? I'm trying to add you right now. Is it accepting you? Hey, you see how they trying to play with this fucking live?
Yeah, I don't know who you done pissed off. They doing some shit to you right now. They doing some shit to your accounts. That's not.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. That's not Rock Nation tampering right there. Trust me. They started doing some weird shit to me when I was trying to let certain shit be known. So I just fell back.
Yeah. So you heard so far what happened. Let me say this real quick.
EJ
is on the stand. EJ's on the stand, and EJ has attested to the fact that, they had went through about 6 or 7 bottles. Whenever security was not there, they would protect themselves by way of carrying around tasers and mace. And he has seen things that looked like it could have been a handgun in luggage before that belonged to Megan. But he cannot confirm. He said, I wouldn't touch it or pry it because that wasn't my business. And that's basically where we are. Now we're at the party. Okay. So I'll go back just a little bit. Megan and Kylie are on one end of the pool, and Kelsey is so inebriated that she is passed out on the floaty on the other side of the pool. So EJ goes over and he says, look, we need to go upstairs, baby. So she's eyes closed, mumbling drunk. He walks her, she's stumbling kind of up to the bed, puts her in the bed so that she can go to sleep. Then he comes back downstairs. More drinking is taking place. They've already gone through about 6 or 7 bottles, but more drinking is taking place. He said that Torey got there after Megan called him on FaceTime. It took 30 minutes for Torey to get there. It took about 30 minutes after she called on FaceTime.
Wait, hold on. So Meg's still drinking? And her friend passed
After
out?
the 6 and 7 bottles and her friend that she didn't seem to give a fuck about that was floating unconscious over there, yeah, she continued drinking with Kylie while her friend was knocked the fuck out.
I told
Floating
you
in a body of water.
Told you I'm Meg the Liver King, man. Meg could drink Sprite out of me.
Okay. Woo. So, Megan calls Torey on FaceTime. Hey, come through. About 30 minutes later, he comes through. They said that Corey said, are we wrapping this shit up or what's going on? Because other people had left. So now we all caught up, you guys. By the time Torey got there, EJ says it was just us. And it wasn't that much drinking going on right at that point. They said when Torey got there, and he kind of got more settled in, they started drinking again. So he got there at about 9 to 9:30. Kelsey is still asleep. They said when Torey got there, Corey Gamble left. So they said, EJ said, not they. EJ said Kylie and Megan went to the door, and Megan was twerking for Torey in the doorway. Okay? Look at me, shaking that ass, okay? So, bouncing that ass. So they said Torey comes up, obviously. Kylie walks everybody in. He said Torey didn't have no security. The driver stayed in the car. They said Kylie was out of the pool. Megan was out of the pool at the time that EJ went to go check on Kelsey. He came back and Kylie and Torey were in the pool. He said, I don't know where Megan was at that time. But then Megan came back down and then got in the pool. Hold on, bitch. Then Megan came and got back in the pool. And they drank some more, if that's fucking possible. So Megan's wig is slipping at this point. Yeah, it's so much alcohol. So Megan's wig is slipping. So EJ said, I know that Megan hates to have her hair messed up. So I told her, baby, your wig is slipping. So he said that he tried to adjust it. And so when he adjusted it by the side of the pool, Megan swam the fuck off. He trying to tell her it's time to go. But she was like, just basically on some shit, like, just touch it up. And then she literally swam back off. Okay. Okay. She came back and the wig was in the middle of her motherfucking head. So EJ said, look, girl, let's go to this bathroom, try to fix this wig. He said when they went to the bathroom to try to fix the wig, he said, baby, this wig ain't gonna make it. The wig is fucking done. Let's go. I'll just go pack our bags so we can leave. He said, Megan wanted to leave, but she wanted Kelsey and Torey to leave too. The bitch ain't want to leave by herself. She needed them to go. She making it the parents want them to go. They said, this is a question to EJ. Did you see anything in the bags when you packed it? He said, no. They said, what did you pack? He said, I packed the Louis V bag and a suitcase. So now these bags that Megan, act like she didn't know who the fuck they belong to, baby, these are your bags, he has confirmed. They said, did you look in the bags? No. Did you see anything inside the bags that looked like maybe a taser or a gun? No. They said, did you state that you saw a firearm that could have been in her bag previously, like in life in general? He said, yeah. I'm sorry. He said, yeah. They said, did you look in her bag this time? He said, I just packed the bags and put them in my car. Now we got EJ has packed the bags. He said, when I put the bags in my car, I went and told Megan, let's go. The bags are in the car. He said Megan was hesitant to leave and she kept on asking for Torey and Kelsey. He said she was drunk and aggressive. He said, at this point, I am ready to go home. And so I offered to take her home, but she wanted to leave with Torey. He said, I never left them anywhere. If they roll with me, I make sure they get back how they came. He said, so when she asked me to put the shit in Torey's car, I asked her twice, are you sure? And she said, yeah, put it in that car. He said, so I told Kelsey, this is what she want to do. And we put the bags in Torey's car. He said, I told the driver, can you open the trunk? And I put the shit in, we put the shit in the trunk. He said, I went back inside and told Megan, the bags are in Torey's car. He said Megan was irritated at that point, but that Kelsey and Megan got in the car and he got in his car. And he said, I pulled out behind them. And I said, text me when you get home. So now we have somebody else corroborating that she did leave that residence the first time with Quan and Kelsey. And it was just those three. He said, if someone said that you weren't there when they left, at the time that they left, would that be true? He said no. This is a direct shot at Megan, who made those claims. She rode with Torey because EJ was gone. That is not true, because EJ packed your ass up and made sure that you were in the car. Okay? EJ said, it actually irritates me that someone would say that I left, because I would never do that. Came with me, you leave with me. He only moved the bags because that's what she wanted to do. And he don't leave bitches behind that he fuck with. He said, so that made him very irritated, okay? He said, so I knew that once Megan had made a sly remark that it was time to go. He said, I've been knowing Kylie. He said, I even hit T. Ferris up via text and told him it's time for us to go. He said, when Megan made a sly remark to Kylie, I was already on alert. Huh?
What was the remark?
You want me to jump to the remark? He ain't said at that point.
Keep it going as long as you got it. Go ahead.
Hell yeah, I got it. So he said, look, I was on my toes because Megan went from fun to being irritated. So they switched gears a little bit. They said, when you met Torey? He said, I met him at a Rock Nation brunch. And he said, get into this. Torey would come over to Megan's house. I would drop Megan off at Torey's house. And I ain't never seen him with no gun. He said he done seen Torey about 10 fucking times. He said that Megan went on trips with Torey. We'll get there. Anyway, while she up here playing, like she ain't over there sucking and fucking, but regardless, he said, I've dropped Megan with, huh?
Vacations?
Vacation. That was caked up. Was they in love, Ek?
Hey, I think she has some feelings. She didn't like how Kylie was pressing up type shit. But go ahead, girl. This is too good. This is too good. Hey. Okay. Hey, all my chat niggas in here, man. Yo, y'all run up her Cash App, man. That's mob rated down there, man. Y'all show her some love. You know what I mean? This beautiful queen has gotten us all the info and held us down for a whole week. She been doing the God's work. Come on now.
So thank you. So he said, I've dropped Megan with Torey, and I wasn't worried about it because we spent damn near all of quarantine with him. And he said Megan has gone on trips with him, and she has met with Torey without security. So remember, I think it was you. Was it you that said that, yeah, she been linking up without her team knowing? All right.
Behind their back.
Let's get into it. So EJ says, yes. They went on trips together. She has been around him without security. I never thought nothing of it. He even said, before I knew Torey, I thought he was an asshole. He said, but during quarantine, when I got to know him, he was cool. He changed his mind on him. So he said, I have not seen Torey since that night at Kylie's house. So now we get back to the security talk. They said, has there ever been a time where you've seen a handgun in Megan's bags? He said, no. He said, I just packed the bags, though. I just throw shit on top of her bags. He said, were there weapons in the bags? This still defense. He said, I don't know, because I just put the shit on top. So now we go to cross-examination. They said, let's go back to July 11th. They said, do you recall the start of that day? EJ said, yeah. I picked Megan and Kelsey up at the same location at about 1 p.m. And we went straight to Kylie's home. They said that afternoon, did you see those two with the gun? He said, no. He said, who was there? He said, Kylie, Corey, some of Kylie's friends, and security. And they said, where was Kylie's house at? He said, I don't know the address, but it's near the Beverly Hills Canyon, near the LA Basin. He said Megan was near Runyon Canyon at the top of the hill. So it took maybe 15 to 20 minutes to get to her house. And it was like, oh, so that's quick in LA. And they had a little chuckle about how fast that was. So they said, did more people come at any point in the night? And he said about an hour after we had been there, a white man came with Odell Beckham. And that's his name? Yeah, Odell Beckham Jr., the football player, the little pretty ass one. Him. Yeah. He said about an hour or so later, here come Odell Beckham and a damn white man. He said, so about how many people, EJ didn't know his name, how many people was at the house at that point? He said it was probably about 4:15, and it was about 10 or 12 people at that point. And so he said, the reason I know that it probably was around that time is because when we got in the pool, the sun was setting. He said, so I'm basing it off of, how the weather was, like what it was looking like outside. So he said the party was drinking No, I'm sorry. He said, who was drinking at the party? Everybody was drinking. He said everybody but me, Odell, and his friend was drinking. So the prosecutor, Bot, was like, you would say that Odell Beckham is a big guy, right? And I think that he was about to get into the 6 or 7 bottles that then got chugged a little. And so he was like, well, hold on now. He said me and Odell actually had a little combo real quick because me and Odell don't drink. He said, so me, Odell, and one more person wasn't drinking that night. So exclude us from the group of people that went through them 6 or 7 bottles. So they had to throw that shit out the window because prosecution looked like that. Yo, y'all do the math in the motherfucking chat. So they said, so how many people was drinking the goddamn liquor? They said about 8 people. About 8 people went through about 6 or 7 motherfucking bottles, basically. That's what we said.
Yo, Meg killed 3 bottles of Henny by herself? We might have to give her an award.
Trophies. So then, playing beer pong. Everybody playing beer pong. They said, did Megan make some food? Here we go with this cheap-ass nigga meal. He said, yeah. She went in there to go make some tacos. They said tacos or nachos. People, it gets worse. The bitch didn't even have Rotel and Velveeta. He said, no. Megan made tacos. He said, but we never ate them because Megan ass was too worried about coming outside the party. He said Megan was supposed to go in and make that motherfucking ground beef and put it in them damn shells, but she could not stand the fact that everybody was having a good time. So she said, fuck the tacos. These hoes ain't even ate. So then they said Kelsey passed out about a few hours into the party. He said, so everybody was just talking and drinking, right? And then so EJ was like, yeah. He said, were they bragging about having a gun? He said, no. They said, what time did Kelsey pass out? He said, probably around 6:30, 7 o'clock. He said, so Kelsey passed out. Was she drunk? And he said, hell yeah, like she was drunk. I had to go put her in the bed. And he said that Kelsey and Kylie actually hit it off because Kelsey a party starter. They said she like a little Tasmanian devil. He said she's short, she wild, and she the life of the party. She's a happy drunk. They say, you know, but she got a lot of bark. But that night she was in a great space. He said, have you ever seen Kelsey bite? And he said, no. All she do is go to sleep. Okay? He said, I've never seen Kelsey get physical. He said she was passed out on the raft. That's how he was describing the floaty. She was passed out on the raft. And he said, I walked over there and I told her we need to go get in the bed. He said it was a long walk. I had to help her. Her eyes was closed and she was mumbling and shit. They asked him to describe the room that Kylie had for them. And you know this a rich-ass bitch. He said the room that Kylie gave us was on the far left side of the damn house. And the room had a bed, a patio, and a damn living room. So basically, Kylie done gave them a motherfucking apartment. Basically. Huh?
A big-ass suite.
Hell yeah, that's a suite, nigga. So I said, well, damn, bitch, can I come swim? So anyway, he said, I put Kelsey in the bed and she had on a swimsuit. He said, so when Kelsey woke up, she was more aware and she put on some dry clothes. He said, Kelsey was probably asleep like about an hour and a half, 2 hours. He said, so that's when everybody got back in the pool. He said, was Torey there at that point? He said, yeah. He said, Torey came alone. He said, and I knew him enough to say that he was familiar. But as a gay man, I just let Megan go be with her people. He said, when I would drop Megan off the Torey house, I'd just drop her off. He said, I've never been in Torey's car. He said, I went in Torey's house one time real quick because Megan wanted to take a picture. He said, but whenever I would go over there, either I was dropping off Megan or I was dropping off Megan and Munchie. I would not go in. And, you know, Munchie has been mentioned in some songs and shit like that. And she does still follow Torey, in case y'all didn't know. But, yeah, he said I would never go in. So then the prosecutor going to try to slip it in, talking about, so you didn't know him well. He said, you know, I was familiar with him. And, you know, he said me and T. Ferris and Justin felt comfortable with Megan going with Torey. He said those 3 people felt comfortable. And they left that there. Then we get into the scene again. He says it was Kelsey, Torey, Megan, and Kylie in the pool. They said that Megan was happy to see Torey and that Kylie was excited. They said she even asked a few times, hey, is Torey coming? And so EJ said, but for me, I know Megan's tipping point. So by the time Torey got there, he just personally felt like no more drinking needed to happen. They've already been drinking all damn day, killed all these bottles. He just felt like, I can see this
drank 5 bottles.
Yeah, 6 to 7. So he was like, And then he said, so with the wig situation and the alcohol situation, he felt like these are 2 reasons why we need to get the fuck up out of here. He said, I packed the bags after trying to fix her hair in the bathroom. He said the suitcase was closed. The duffel bag was already open when I went to go put items in it. They said, what were the items that you put in it? He said, I put a change of clothes for Megan and Kelsey in a bag, and we were thinking about going somewhere else after that. So I had 2 other options that I laid down on the bed. He said, the LV bag, the one Megan act like, I got a lot of bags. He said the LV bag had a lot of shit in it. That was her bag. He said, I do not pack up Kelsey's stuff because Kelsey is the assistant. He said, but I did do it that time because all that shit was kind of together. It was all out. He just put it in the goddamn bag. They said, did you pack a gun? He said, no. He said, did you ever see a gun? He said, I don't recall. Okay. He said, have you ever seen Kelsey with a gun? No. Have you ever seen Megan or Kelsey with a gun? Did you see him with a gun that night? He said, no. So they said, without security, you say that you have a taser and mace and you never seen her with a gun. Now get this. EJ said, not on her person. He said, well, what about in her stuff? He said, I've seen stuff like that in her bag. He said, all I would ever do is put things over it. He said, I will put items over what was in her bag. EJ said, I don't go through people's stuff. I'm not sifting through anything. I put shit in the bag. Done. Okay. He said, would Megan ever talk about the taser when y'all was out? Like, oh, I got a taser, bragging about it. He said, no. They said, maybe from time to time, did she bring this up? He said, no. And he said, honestly, we were rarely without security, and we've never been in a situation to have to use it. So, it ain't nothing that even came up. It ain't nothing to discuss. And so now we get to the sly comment. He said, you said Megan made a sly comment. What was the comment? The comment was, he said, Kelsey told Kylie, you're really fun. You a vibe. And Megan said, shit, I'm glad because I thought you was a lame. To Kylie motherfucking Jenner, bitch. He said, Kylie laughed it off. EJ say, but that's when my antennas went up. And I said, bitch, we need to get the fuck up out of here. Okay? Imagine sitting in Kylie big-ass motherfucking house in her pool, drinking up all her liquor and fucking up some hamburger meat, leaving a pot on the stove full of grease. Talking about, I thought you was lame. Bitch, I thought you was poor. Bitch, Kylie, you should have tagged that hoe. I thought a hoe in my pool who nigga was checking for me said something. But anyway, okay, bitch, what? So anyway, he said Kylie laughed it off, but he knew, nah, we need to get the fuck out of here. They said, so you moved the bags. He said, yeah. They said, what was the driver? He said, in the driver's seat. They said, do you know him? He said, no. He said, Torey would drop her off and pick her up and shit. I ain't got to meet all these goddamn people. They said, did the driver ever come in the house? He said, no. They said, did you ever talk to the driver? He said, I talked to him 2 times. When I asked him to open the trunk, to let me put the shit in the trunk, and when he was about to take Megan and them home, like on some, deuces type shit. They said, did you look through the car when you put the shit in the car? He said, no. They said, if he had a gun in the center console, you wouldn't know, huh? He said, no, I wouldn't know. I ain't looking at that car. I know what they had. He said, Megan, Kelsey, and the driver leave in a swimsuit. Kelsey had put on a shirt. They said, did you see them with a gun? He said, no. They said, did you see Kelsey with a gun tucked into her bikini bottom? He said, no. He said, in your experience with other celebrities, do security guards carry guns? They objected. They come back to when Kelsey left the first time, how was she? EJ said she was faded, but she was more coherent than Megan. He said, for example, if I told Kelsey, come on, let's get in the car, Kelsey, after she done woke up after being drunk, got in the car. He said Megan ain't following no instructions. That's how fucked up she is. Okay. They said, you said that Megan handled her liquor well. Didn't you tell us that earlier? He said, yeah, Megan handles her liquor well. I didn't have to walk her to the car or nothing. He said, but Megan was loud and aggressive. And then he made a very important statement. He said Megan had no shoes on. So when we're thinking about ways that bitches could have got injured, he said Megan did not have any shoes on at the time. He said Kelsey did because she was more prepared to leave. Remember, Megan didn't want to go. So she's in the pool. He said,
so she was just bare hoofing it, right?
Yeah.
The hoofs were out.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
gotcha.
They said Megan left with the driver and he followed. He said the only time he ever saw Kelsey after that was at a concert, and they had a quick little, hey, how you doing type of situation, and moved on. He was working at the time. Nothing serious, nothing deep. And he's only seen Megan at events since then. Okay. Let's go back to the redirect. So now we got the defense speaking with him. They said, you said that you don't pack Kelsey's stuff up, right? He said, right. They said, so you don't know what Kelsey had in her bag? He said, no. He said, did Torey have guns in the trunk? He said, no. They said, did Torey have a gun on him in his swim trunks? EJ said, Torey had on his drawers. He said, no, his swim trunks. He said, no, Torey had on his drawers.
Wait, hold on. What?
He said Torey did not have on swim trunks. If Torey would have had some on his body, he would have seen it, because he said Torey had his drawers on. His boxers, dick print all the fuck out. Okay? He didn't have on no damn swim trunk. Maybe he put them back on, but when they got back in the car. But he had on his fucking drawers. Okay? He didn't strip down to the drawers. So they had a little laugh about that in the courtroom. They said, do you know what was in the bag? He said, I only know what I put in the duffel bag. I don't know nothing else that was packed in that hole. He said, Jaquan, is that Torey regular security? He said, I've seen Torey's regular security. That wasn't him. Jaquan is not his regular security. And so he said that Kelsey was drunk before she went to sleep. And when she woke up, she was still drinking, but he felt like she was just more coherent. He said Megan is a different person when she gets past a certain threshold of drinking. And he said, I quote, Megan is a different person when she's past faded. They said, was she past faded that night? He said, yes. Okay.
5 bottles of Hennessy will do it to you.
6 or 7.
It might do it
plus
to you.
More, okay? So then they bring up the evidence photos that show us the vehicle, so we can see the luggage and the Louis V bags. They said, EJ, is this the luggage that you put in the car? He said, yes. He said, is this the LV bag that you put in the car? He said, yes. Now get into this shit. He said, and let me tell you, the bags were in the behind the driver's seat. So, where people sit on the second row, that's where the bags were. They asked EJ, is that where you put that luggage? EJ said, no. He said, so the luggage has been moved. EJ said, yes. EJ said, I put the bags in the trunk. They said, did you put these bags in the back seat of the car? He said, no, I put them in the trunk. They said, about how many times have you seen Torey? He said, probably about 10 times. They said, have you ever seen Torey with a gun? No. Have you ever seen Torey talk about a gun? No. They said, has Megan ever told you that he carries a gun? He said, no. Now we got a recross. So we got the other side, you guys. They said Megan took, security for armed protection, right? He said, I don't know. They had an objection. Move on. They said, have you ever looked through Torey and Jaquan's items? Did you look through them in the car? He said, no. They said, did you feel safe with Torey having been with Megan? He said, yeah. They said, did you feel it safe having Torey around Megan as you would feel with Kelsey around Megan? He said, yes. And to me, that says a lot, because Kelsey is like a sister to her. This is her best friend. This is her assistant. This person has a lot of trust. So if EJ gonna say, me, Justin, and Ferris trusted Torey with her, even without security, to me, that says a lot. They said, have you ever seen him with a gun or talk about a gun? He said, no. The prosecutor had the nerve to say, have you seen Torey's gun tattoo? He said, child, no. There was an audible, nigga, what? It was like are you fucking dumb? Like, what kind of dumbass question is this? Yeah. This for this fuck. Like, what? So, they said to EJ, did you ever see what happened after they left? He said, no. Okay. He said, one more question. Have you ever seen Kelsey and Megan fight over a man? He said, no. He said, you ever seen them, like, get bucked up pretty much? He was like, no. Okay. After that, that was it. We came in so late. We only had about 2 hours, but they did finish. EJ was dismissed for the day. I appreciate him so much. because he did not waste our time. He got straight to it. He felt like the most honest person so far. No fluff. Just here you go, you guys, and let me get out of here. There was an issue about a motion filed about some or motion they wanted to file based on some information they've been having. So they called that out and said, y'all been knowing that shit. Y'all been knowing that shit. So why y'all bringing it now? Like y'all on some fugazi shit. And so y'all deal with that. They tried to add a bribery charge. The judge said no. They tried to add a bribery charge based on testimony that Torey had allegedly hit up Kelsey about this fucking $1 million. They denied it. That shit was denied like a motherfucker. They brought in Mr. Kelly, who's a witness, and Detective Sogner, who's a witness, and another police officer, Officer Diaz, and they ordered them back to court tomorrow. So hopefully we can get through all those people tomorrow. He said hopefully by Thursday we're hearing closing arguments. They want this shit wrapped up. Wednesday or Thursday, they want this shit wrapped up. And so that was court today. That's what happened.
Hey, I know this was earlier in the day, right? With the detectives that took the stand, and I watched you talk about it before, and I watched Lawyer for Workers talk about it. It seemed like the DA at this point is just like, yo, they feel so upset that Kelsey didn't say what they want to say. They're like, yo, Torey's cheating, so we're gonna cheat too. Okay, we're gonna just bring people on the stand that's only gonna remember what we want them to do. Right?
That's how it felt. Right,
because that's what happened with the cops, ain't it? Because the motherfucker who had Kelsey handcuffed but don't remember nothing about Torey, that would be anything that showed that he might be, oh, okay, he's concerned. Maybe he's looking like somebody who's a human. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They look like just desperation day. Then they try to throw a bribery charge at the last minute.
Last minute. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And they told him, like, we're not doing this last minute. No bribery charge for you.
What was your overall thoughts about the whole day?
Another win for the defense. I mean, we continue to paint the picture that, babe. For now, bags have been moved. So it's possible that somebody went into these bags. What did y'all need to move the bags for, and when would you have had time? So I'm thinking that maybe the bags got moved on their way back up there. Because at this rate, I mean, what the hell you moved the bag for? Did you try to get in it? Were you trying to get something out of it? Like, what's up? What was the plan? I'm not understanding that. Like I said, EJ was the most level-headed. So I appreciated him and his testimony. I think that he was honest.
Did they ever get into his relationship with Meg currently?
No.
Or maybe what happened? No.
They didn't get into anything of that nature. No questions about why you're no longer with her. I was wondering if they would bring up the incident that we heard about on social media with Megan and JT approaching him in an aggressive way. I don't know if y'all remember that.
Wait, break it down.
There was a situation where EJ was at a party, and he had gone on social media and just said that he was owed money from Megan. This after he stopped working with her. So when they got to the party, Megan, per how it was described, charged him up on some aggressive shit. And that JT came up to defend her and was pressing him as well as a grown-ass man. Now, had he hauled off and knocked out both of their asses, it would have been a problem. But y'all up here addressing grown-ass men like them not niggas. Another conversation for another day. But, yeah, it wasn't. And then JT's stance was, well, I don't feel like he should have went to social media about it. She didn't like that he did that. And it's something that kind of tapered off by the wayside. But I was thinking, that they would bring that up because it speaks to the damn aggression and how she be acting. When he's sitting up here saying that she gets aggressive when she gets past faded, I wish that they would have dove into that. Now, when you say aggressive, what is she doing? And this ain't no little bitch. So when we're talking about a bitch that's almost 6 feet and not even thin, we have a very curvy, well, not necessarily curvy, but a thick, heavy, a solid. Yeah. This a different type of motherfucking aggression.
Hey, so you said one instance of that maybe that passive, like everybody knows. If you drink, I drink all the time. Somebody's usually past that limit or past the point where they lose social perceptiveness when they say something and it's wild disrespectful.
Yeah.
And if they weren't that drunk, even if they were trying to say it, they would say it in a cooler way. When you say some shit like, damn, I thought you was a lame bitch. Like, come on now.
It's time to go.
Like that's one of those, you look at her like, why would you even say it like that. You know what I mean?
That's how he described it too. He said, I've been knowing Kylie, and I just feel like at that point, no. He said she did laugh it off, but I was like, no, it's time to go. And he texted T. Ferris and said, it's time for us to go. I guess trying to maybe get him to reach out to Megan and say, come on, let's go.
From multiple stories and sources that I've heard, there was a lot of those type comments. And by the way, I think, you know, obviously Kylie's not going to testify, so we're not going to figure out like what her opinion is on everything.
Right.
I think those type comments, though, I think that's why, you know, Kylie obviously eventually kicked her out and probably don't fuck with her now.
Exactly. Because what did she say when she went back? And because EJ, you know, he didn't speak to that. What is this incident that took place that led to Kylie saying, get the fuck out of here?
I wish they had asked EJ, at least, you know, in his own opinion, if she felt like Meg was getting more aggressive, not only with more alcohol that she was drinking, she on a fifth city bottle, but maybe she was also getting a little bit more aggressive after watching, you know, Torey and Kylie interact. You know, so she's
fucking the nigga, and you feeling the nigga so much that you getting dropped off, he picking you up, and you done told your best friend, stop fucking with him, I might have to work with him again on some lying ass shit. And that nigga sitting up there in his motherfucking drawers, dick print out, flirting with a bitch, you ain't gonna be mad? No, Torey was gonna get up out that pool. Nigga, what the fuck? I would press that. The fuck is you doing? So it's logical.
Hey,
I don't know.
By the way, I think EJ's testimony, remember when Meg admitted that she fucked Torey, right?
Yeah.
Then she was downplaying it. Like, they were like, oh, we're in like a relationship. She was like, oh hell no. Like, that's like basically kind of like just making it seem like it was nothing. Like, they just had a sexual, you know, situation, but nothing more than that.
Right.
Hearing from EJ, it seems like not only was this shit frequent, you're not taking your fuck buddy on vacations. You feel me? Like, you know what I mean? If this is some shit you do, like where you extra bored, y'all not going on vacations, y'all not spending that much time together, right? Because Meg downplayed all the time they spent together.
Definitely. And downplayed him and Kelsey's relationship, knowing that she hooked him up. But yes.
Yeah, it all plays into the mentality of why you would be frustrated and upset when you see the nigga trying to do some shit or trying to act a little bit extra with another girl.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. You fuck with me the long way. So what's up?
Yeah.
And it's so, felt so comfortable having her stylist and shit drop her off and he picking up because she knew Kelsey wasn't in town. How low you gotta be? You know what you headed over there for. Bitch, you heading over there to get fucked and you knew that shit. And you never said a word to Kelsey.
I ain't gonna lie. Again, I know her character and her morals ain't up for, that's not on trial, but you got to think about it. And I think on Friday they actually detailed it. I had heard the same thing too. Torey and Kelsey are fucking.
Mm-hmm.
Kelsey catches COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Kelsey goes back to Houston. Meg slide right in there.
Yeah.
Fucking her while her friend is at home, can't smell, can't taste, on bed rest.
Kelsey could have died. Niggas was dying from COVID every hour. And she was it.
Meg over here, she slide in instantly. She don't give two fucks. You know what I mean? So now it's putting it into perspective, like the character, and especially when you hear this ain't the first time this type of behavior is happening. It's a couple of niggas that has happened with.
Yeah. I'm gonna come on now. A motherfucking mess.
This damn prosecutor is trying. They know that they're about to look embarrassed.
Yeah.
You were in court.
14.
Did you feel like at any point they did something like, and I'm talking about the prosecutor, and you're like, damn, okay, that point hit home, or like, okay, that's a good point you made right there, because it seems like they're on desperation time and they need to score points. They need to score some type of points.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. The answer to that question is absolutely the fuck not. And actually, to me, there was a defeated tone today. You know, I feel like the guy, not Kathy, she always feel like she got to stick up her ass. I call him a little Ken doll. He always getting up smiling and conveying his points. He may, have his little moments, but he was trying to keep it level. Today it was real. So what about this? It wasn't too many questions. It wasn't too much to get into. It seemed like, you know, a balloon that was almost out of air. You know, when a helium balloon, you know, you get to that point where you throw it up in the air. Y'all play like fake volleyball with it a little bit, then you just start sucking the air out of that bitch and talking funny. He was about talking funny.
Damn.
Yeah.
Hey, why Thursday? I thought it would have probably wrapped by tomorrow. Maybe, you know, I thought Wednesday where the jury.
Well, Justin has gone MIA. They want more time to try to locate him.
That nigga in Qatar.
Yeah. Then and the LAPD said they're not searching for him. So
is it possible they will? I mean, I've never